111 سنة عمر هذا البراند، وعندهم أسرع سيارة SUV في العالم إلين اليوم. ونحن وين؟ في دبي، في أستون مارتن شوروم. ليش؟ الحين بتعرفوا. Regional Director, Aston Martin, Middle East. Really appreciate your time. Thank you and for having us here in Aston Martin showroom in Dubai, which is one of the best showrooms so far.
I appreciate it. You are very welcome and it's great pleasure to have you here with us.
So your name is Sidi, Arabi, Bensouda. Now I need you to explain this, especially like your name is, mashallah, it's amazing. What does it mean?
Sure. I'll explain it in Arabic. I think it will be an easier version. بنسودة, of course, there is the word سودة والأسود, ومن القبيلة الأصلية من يمات القرن السادس والسابع لما العرب صاروا ينتشروا بشمال إفريقيا بعد بالخطوات من عقبة بن نافع والباقي. القبيلة اللي كانت عايشة باليمن أخذت الاسم التراب الأسود الذي كان على الأرض، ولهذا جاء من الاسم سودة. بعدين بن هو ابن سودة أو ابن براضة أو ابن جلون، وصاروا هذه الأسامي كمان منتشرين بشمال إفريقيا مع الوقت.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. So the question, how does Aston Martin adapt to the unique performance of the Middle East customers?
Absolutely. They are very discerning, very detailed and bespoke in their preferences, and therefore the best way is, of course, to listen before we can provide. We are very lucky to have a very ample palette of paint samples, leather samples, to really make the final product not only outstanding, but more importantly, tailored to each customer's preferences. So therefore, we have plenty of materials within each dealership in the region, but we also do accommodate specific factory tours and one-to-one visits in our Q department in Gaydon for these very customers when we take them to a specific Q, as we say, commission scheme from start to finish. So it takes different steps. We will look into feasibility, we will look into lead time to really cater the final product to each very customer.
So any of the Aston Martins, whoever buys it, whichever it is, he gets exactly the same.
The same Aston Martin that he wishes for. Obviously, there are dozens of different paints, leathers, stitches, different wheel patterns, brake calipers. There's a wide variety to really tailor each Aston Martin to your specific needs. And we take it's part of the personalization of the program. Most of the orders that we have here in the region are retail orders. We want customers, of course, to customize their own with their specific taste as they wish. So we're very happy to take them through this very journey.
Does Aston Martin define the essence of the luxury for the Middle East owners or drivers?
Yeah, again, it's all about personalization. It's all about craftsmanship, beauty, dynamics. This is actually part of our DNA. When you look at Aston Martin, I think the first thing you notice is how beautiful it is. Design has always been one of our main ethos to describing our brand and our product. Before getting into the craftsmanship, the quality of materials that we use to build every single Aston Martin, we take a lot of pride in making and building and fitting as many hours as possible to come up with a final product. It's a piece of jewelry, all in all, from start to finish, starting from the badge, the one you have the rear and the front of the car. It's a piece of jewelry. It's done in Birmingham with our Vulcan supplier. We've done actually a limited edition of a mother of pearl badges, and it took 42 layers to finish that badge, up to 5 hours to only just cut it and 6 hours actually just to finalize the badge. So think about it, only 11 hours just to do one badge. It is not a piece of metal or plastic that you would frame on the bonnet. It's a piece of jewelry. It's also the last piece that goes in a car when we do build it, and God knows that it can take up to 200 man-hours to build one Aston Martin. We take a lot of pride in really crafting something exceptional. Our paint process is also one of the most thorough that we have in the industry, up to 9 layers of paint, and usually around 50 hours just to paint all the body panels of the cars that we have here around us. If we like the leather, the smell of the leather when you open the Aston Martin, out of the sourced balls that we get the leather hides from in the UK and Ireland, out of 200 hides, usually 1 or 2 is selected and trimmed to go to this very car. That's how thorough that process is. So we do ensure that high level of craftsmanship is always guaranteed in every single one of Aston Martins. We are a small volume manufacturer, so we make sure that every single one is a piece of art, really.
Wow. What is the brand's growth strategy for the Middle East as models with the dealerships and all that? Like, what's the exact growth you guys are looking at?
So we are actually geographically kind of a big region, spanning from Baku, Azerbaijan to Casablanca, Morocco. So we have a border about a few thousand kilometers here between the GCC and North Africa. So we have a full presence in the GCC market, i.e. UAE, Qatar, Saudi, Oman, Bahrain, and Kuwait, obviously, 6 of them. We have a couple presence in Egypt and Morocco. That's where actually I'm from. So I was quite happy to open a franchise there about a couple of years back. It's been quite a good market for us so far. And we have presence in the Levant as well, which in Lebanon, Turkey, and Azerbaijan, amongst other. So that's actually strengthening and also growing the dealer network as much as we can. We're keeping an eye as well on the evolution of potentially Central Asia, with a growing influence with China, the Silk Road belt, and the emergence of all those Asian economies could also benefit the wider network. In terms of models, obviously, 3 main sports cars families when it comes to the GT segment, to the Vantage segment. So we have the 2-seater Vantage, which is our Hunter sports car, the quintessentially DB12, 75 years lineage of DB David Brown legacy cars, which are evergreen to us. They have been extremely important and have constituted really the backbone of Aston Martin. And of course, with our V12 flagship replacement of the DBS, which will be unveiled later this year. Alongside that, of course, the world's fastest SUV, the DBX 707 that you have driven as well and told us a great deal about it.
Yeah.
So I'm quite enthused to keep hearing such a positive feedback about our four-door sports car SUV. I think it's just a fantastic addition. And it's been extremely popular. As you know, the SUV segment has been one of the most growing segments in the last few years, and us, along the competition, have strong offerings, and we're extremely happy to be able to stand out with such a platform that we have started from scratch, really, from a black canvas, proper chassis. Everything has been thought inside out thorough. So very happy with the end result and looking forward to growing even further.
Nice, nice. And this is one of my favorite design cars.
Yeah. Well, you get taste.
Yeah.
It's practical. You can take your family.
Yeah.
So
it's a beautiful.
It's a good around sports cars which can actually carry on more people in the cabin.
Does Aston Martin ensure the exceptional customer service for their ownership?
Once now that the end customers have put their trust into purchasing an Aston Martin, we'll make sure that the journey from start to finish is exceptional and as best as possible. So we have taken them through the journey to specify the car and go through a lead time to deliver that car. Throughout the journey as well, we do make sure that they are constantly updated on the status of the car. And we also offer the opportunity to some who might fly to Gaydon or St. Athens in Wales, should it be a 707, to see potentially the car in build throughout that stage. At the end of that stage, we do come up with a build book that customers as well can have to see different photos of the process of their car from start to finish. By the time, from the engine fitting until the end car. So we're quite happy with that. Once that car is delivered, of course, our highly trained dealer associates in the after-sales service and also in the showroom do make sure that throughout the service or under the warranty, anything that come up with the car could be actually well carried after.
So what exciting customization options are available in the region?
Yeah, so again, imagination is infinite. So we do listen to anything that the customer might wish to personalize. Should it be a paint to sample? We've had some experiences before when potentially a lady could bring a specific Hermes leather hide and they want exactly the same on the car. That could be looked after and done upon testing and visualization. So it's also something we can do. Again, there's some major themes which are very common to the Middle East, like falconry, also the culture of the pearl. And speaking of which, a few years back with the Vanquish S, I think that you know, what we talked about the last naturally aspirated V12 was the Vanquish S. So basically to celebrate this, right before the final ultimate series that we've done for the Vanquish S to bid it farewell, we've managed to take 10 chassis and created what we call the Pearl Edition for the Middle East. Beautiful platinum white paint, white essence leather, absolutely stunning contrast stitching as well. We had the mother of pearl inlay on the rotaries, on the buckle, on the wing badges, when I told you earlier about how we craft that in the jewelry quarter. And actually the whole product was absolutely phenomenal. It looked really a pearl, really cocooned and shelled in a beautiful ultra luxury environment. So that was very splendid. The next one we also did was the arabesque, the beautiful pattern that we are known for here in the Middle East. We have picked the DBS Superleggera and we have done a royal indigo, you know, a purple, which is the color of royalty, as you know, since the Phoenicians when they were the purple dye, and that's actually the purple was the color of royalty. Since then, we've done 4 beautiful DBS Superleggera. I believe you've seen it around in some few snapshots here. And that was a beautiful creation curated only for the Middle East customers. So Pearl Edition, Arabesque, DBS Superleggera are actually just a couple of iterations that we have crafted to suit the meticulous and curated Middle Eastern taste.
This is one of the questions which I always like to ask.
Sure.
Is Aston Martin preparing for anything electric or hybrid?
Obviously, it's the current, but also part of the future to have hybrid and electric offerings in the near future. However, we still see that a lot of customers do cherish those emotions about hearing the cracks and bangles of the ICE, you know, the internal combustion engines of our V8s and V12s. So we don't want to compromise with that. We're very happy to keep offering such, whilst of course keeping an eye and plans on having those offerings in the near term. Within our board, we have strong partners, out of which I can cite Lucid Motors. Yeah, if you heard about Lucid,
Yes.
and they have a couple of factories in California and Arizona as well, with plans in Saudi Arabia, which we have signed a partnership with them, with Aston Martin and Lucid. On the board as well, we have Geely, with the Chinese group, which also quite westernized now, with Volvo, with Polestar, with Lotus. And also they are up to 17% of our shares within the shareholding. Not only that, so between actually Mercedes-Benz, to which we have, of course, electrical partnership and of which the V8 engines as well, I told you earlier. So between Mercedes, Geely, and our own, you know, engineering capabilities, we see that, but we have postponed it to 2026. It was initially 2025. We have postponed a year because we still want to have those current offerings that we are, you know, cherishing our most enthusiasts with. And actually, time will come to have those offerings, out of which, for example, we are entering the mid-engine segment with the Valhalla, the car we saw earlier, the 1,000 horsepower plus V8 hybrid with a carbon electric motors. So we'll have, I'm sure, the lineup to face what the future lies ahead of us.
So can you share the Aston Martin sustainability offers in the Middle East?
Absolutely. Of course, it's come from a global steer. We have a fully dedicated team in the global HQ that really makes sure that we can be as sustainable company as possible. This is the case actually with our manufacturing plant, should it be in Gaydon in the UK or in St. Athens, where all the 707s are produced. These are 100% energy recyclable, done. Of course, for example, we also noticed that from 2022 to 2023, there was a further reduction of 23% in carbon CO2 emissions reductions, which we are quite proud of. And in terms of potentially the waste, we have recycled 64% of the waste that is being generated every year throughout building cars, parts, and other things. So we look very thoroughly on the sustainability as part of the future and part of cherishing the environment that surrounds us. We have also planning to invest up to $2 billion within the next 5 years into the batteries, technologies, and all that. So not only we do learn a lot from the F1 Formula team, which actually that technology expertise is trickling down into our core and other specific models. That's actually part of the all efforts that we do ensure to be as sustainable as possible.
So does Aston Martin connect with the luxury cars enthusiasts in the regions?
So great. So as part actually, as I told you, regarding our latest, state-of-the-art infotainment technology now that we have fused into this new generation car, the B12, and then the new Vantage, the new 707, and also part of the next flagship, which will be unveiled this year. We are rolling out in the regions where the telecom provider of each country, what we call the Aston Martin app, a full connected app that have so many features with data, from privacy, from road tasting, everything you need to know about the car. Should be tire pressure monitoring, speed, trip assistance. All those elements are now fused into that app. So it will be a lively connection now between the service that we have globally, between your Aston Martin team and dealership, and your car, of course, that you are linked and intertwined with. So this app will be a fantastic platform and a live interface 24/7, anytime, anywhere, that actually the car will be connected to your app. You can also lock it or unlock it with your connected app, so it's pretty cool. I remember we had that back then with the GG LeCoultre watches, the Amvoxes that we had with the DBS, and also the virtual Vantage, when you can just lock it and unlock from your watch. So that's pretty cool. So you'll be able to do it again now with the connected app.
Does the racing heritage influence the future of Aston Martin?
Absolutely. Actually, racing pedigree has always been in our genes since 1913. So actually, Aston Martin comes from Aston Hills climb. It was actually a climb that used to race back then with Lionel Martin and Robert Bamford, which were our founders. So it's from that Aston and Lionel Martin that Aston Martin has merged as a name. And of course, different models have been unrolling since then, but racing actually started in 1913. We have just now celebrated 111th year anniversary. Last year, 110, we came out with the Vale, 110 units to celebrate 110 years. Analog experience, V12 Vantage engine, 6-speed manual, it's just a grail. So in order to replicate that without another 111 years, we are now unveiled the Valiant, which is actually will be displayed in Goodwood Festival and have around now, which quite excited about, with 38 units. So racing, it's something we will never part ways with. It is who we are. It's part of our DNA, and we make sure that not only form follows function, but that racing lines and cues will always be inhabited in our cars. Should it be from the DB12 to the current lineup, to the Valhalla, and to whatever comes next, should it be hybrid, electric, or any car with a platform. It's who we are. It's a racing green, and green is actually thanks to the Formula One, most cars that have been spec'd in the last few years have been green. We have never seen as many greens as ever, especially here in this region. I can note, for example, the Buckinghamshire green, which is Buckinghamshire for the Royal Palace, is one of our favorite paints. It has been extremely popular in ways. So clearly, racing is part of our ethos, it's our DNA, it's who we are. So it's something that we are extremely attached to, and we will never compromise on it.
Now there is a few questions which is out of context. How do you start your day?
Usually about my daily or weekly routine. Well, I usually tend to travel about a couple days a week. 2 days out of 5 really I'm overseas to be close to my dealer partners. Again, I have about 12 dealers that I do cover, so that's a lot of travels. When I'm not traveling overseas and I'm here in Dubai, my day would look like I would usually wake up around 6:30 and 7, do some exercise at the gym between 7 to 7:45, and then dress up, head up to the office, and that's where I'm going to have basically breakfast and tackle my day. Usually during the week, that's pretty much it. During the weekend, I'm going to try to play some sports, meet some friends, take care of my family. I've got a wife and a couple of kids that I try to spend as much time with. So usually that's why I try to do some sports in the morning so I can have time actually after work. If I finish around 6:30, at least I can have an hour or two before they can go to bed, and at least try to enjoy the kids growing up at this very age. So that's important to me.
I always ask this question, which is, if you choose a Hollywood actor, who would you choose to present Aston Martin?
Past or present, I think the one that would come into mind is Pierce Brosnan. I think he just looks great next to an Aston Martin, and I believe he's been a fabulous James Bond within the franchise, especially Die Another Day. I think that race on the ice is iconic. So I've been very keen on that personage, if we shall say. I think is a great fit to the brand, and he also likes watches, so that makes him like him even more. Yeah.
Of course, appreciate your time. Thanks again for having us with you. Appreciate.
Pleasure was ours, and we hope to see you more often.
Inshallah. Thank you.
This is your home.
Thank you. Appreciate it.